Good afternoon, good morning, good day to you wherever you're watching me from. In this video, I'm going to be taking time out to continue the discussion we started concerning analysis of covariance. And we earlier ran a data analysis in this regard. So I'll be sharing several part of the results which I have copied to several platforms such as the one you are using now. You remember I started with the theoretical part of analysis of covariance. From there, we proceeded to how to compute it and run the analysis on SPSS. And here we have the results which we will be making reference to in this video. The first part of these results, which I want you to follow with the cursor, is the pre-interest. You see, this is how the result is, the corrected model, the corrected model is here, the intercepts, the pre-interest, and so on. I think this actually it's kind of, and this is the effect size. This is the significant p-value. This side, this is the df value if I'm corrected, if I'm correct, and all that things there. I think I would love to allow you see this on the copied data. It's better you see that. So this is clearer. So corrected model, this is the partial eta squared, this is the significance, this is the f value, this is the mean square, this is the df, and this is the type 3 sum of square, and this is the source. The first thing I would love us to look at is the pre-interest, which is the covariate. You will notice that it's had a significant effect, as it were. The significant effect is very clear. So what happened is that this is telling us that the value, the interests of the three groups are not the same. But thank God for ANCOVA. So the ANCOVA will partial out the initial disparity that existed among the three groups like that. So that's why we have this color here. Next to that is the group, the group, which I would say, okay, this color. That means this is checking out, the F test is checking out whether the group have significant difference among them. And you will notice that the p-value obtained is less than 0.05 and the partial eta square is 0.863. So this is telling us one thing, which I would love to explain on this particular slide here. It's telling us that there is a significant main effect of treatments on student interests. You can see F, 280 equals to 256 and all of those things. Let me show you where I got all those values from, because you may be reading a paper and you just find all those things there. Let me quickly provide information on where it is gotten from. I said that the SPSS output that I copied to Word. Look at this is where I got the F from. Look at this is the F. So you check the F that matches the group. So that's why I chose F. And the DF, that's the degree of freedom. That's 2. This is within the across the group, and the error term is 80 within them. So the DF for these 2 is that we have 3 groups. 3 minus 1 is 2, So that's how we obtained this first DF. And the second DF is the error term that we have for this. So that's how I got 2,80. You can see it here again. There's a significant main effect of student treatment on student interest. You can see here, it's already written here. Maybe I should just stay with this, where I have the 2,80, Okay, this is the 2,80. So that's how I got the 2,80. The p-value is less than 0.05 and the partial eta square value is 0.863. So this implies that, just like I wrote here, that the post-interest score differs across the 3 groups. So the differences among the mean score obtained is significant. You cannot leave it. But it's actually a real difference, as it were. There's actually a difference across the 3 groups. So as a result of that, we will now go to check the magnitude of the mean value. So those people exposed to strategy A, they had 100.435 mean score. The people exposed to strategy B, the group had this mean score 89.78. And finally, this other group, which is the control, they had a mean score of the last group. So even looking at the mean score, there is actually a difference, but looking at it is not enough. So we need to actually rely upon this value here, which is significant. That's telling us that the difference among these 3 set of mean for the groups are significant. And the people in strategy B, exposed to strategy B, they had the highest post-interest score, followed by those exposed to strategy A, which is 89.79, and the lowest score was obtained by those exposed to control group, which is 75.39. Now, here is where we now have to patiently look at the results that we have obtained patiently. If you look at these results that we have now established 3 things. Number 1, we have established that there is a significant difference among the 3 mean score. Now, we now want to check where is the difference lying. We have 3 groups. Where is the difference? You will notice that here, this is I, which is a group. J is another group. So they are giving us the mean difference here. You can look at this place. And this is whether the difference among them is significant. It's like they are doing a t-test between each of the group. So they did the one for control and the strategy A. When they did high minus J is minus 14. It means that strategy A is better. Because if you come down, you will also see the same. Look at strategy A. Let's look at this one. It will be easily understood. Look at it. Strategy A and control. The difference between their mean is 14.398. And that difference is significant. Let me highlight it. Is significant. So this is called post hoc analysis, and it is actually a pairwise comparison. They compare A and control. They compare A and strategy B. They compare strategy B and control. Multiple comparisons, multiple pairwise comparison. So look at this one now. It's telling us that strategy A is better than control because their difference is 14.398, and this value shows that the difference is significant. Next to it is the difference obtained from strategy B. Strategy B and control. Let me highlight that also. Strategy B and control. We notice that for this, the strategy B and control, strategy B is better than control because the value obtained is actually even higher. This one 14.39, this is 25. It's almost double the difference, and it is also significant. Finally, they compare strategy B and strategy A. There are so many repetitions on that table, so don't let it concern you so much. Don't let it bother you. They are doing the pairwise comparison in several layers, but there are repetitions that shouldn't bother you as though. So look at this again. Strategy B and control. You will notice strategy B and strategy A, the difference between them is 10.64, and that difference is also significant. So what is this telling us? It's telling us that this significant difference that we have reported here, which is in red, that the group are significant, the differences are accounted for by number one, the difference between strategy A and control. Number two, the difference between strategy B and control. Those differences teamed up or joined together to form that significant difference. And finally, the difference between strategy B and strategy A. So these three differences accounted for the significant difference that we have. You can see, as I wrote here, the table shows that the post-entrance mean score of students exposed to strategy A differs significantly from that of the control group. The table also shows that post-interest mean score of students exposed to strategy B differs significantly from that of the table also shows that post-interest mean score of students exposed to strategy A differs significantly from those of strategy B. So we have seen it now that the difference that we have obtained because is. So what does this imply? This implies that if we want to use any strategy to improve interest, strategy B will do the job best. But strategy A, it will do it better than control. You know, also strategy A will also do it better than the control. But for us to get best results, it is strategy B, because strategy B is better than the control, and it's also better than strategy A when it comes to improving interest. Now, if you look up back to this first F ANOVA table, this mark is speaking to the um, effect of the mental ability, which is the moderating variable. You will notice that the mental ability is equally having significant main effect because the p-value obtained is less than 0.05, and it is having the partial eta square of 0.121. So what this is telling us is that the mental ability category of this learner also has effects, and just the same explanation, we need to first consider the mean. Look at these learners with high mental ability, they had 90.634. Those with average mental ability, they had 88.250. And those with low mental ability, they had 86.730. So the point is that the three mental ability has a significant main effect. The mental ability has significant main effects. But just like we did for the um, achievement, the interest, going by the treatment method used, we can also do a pairwise comparison so that we will know the difference that we have obtained, where does it lie? And I love this because it's explaining it in another way. Look at this, what we have here. Look at high and low. People with high mental ability, they had I minus F 3.904. That means the interest of people with high mental ability, just like it's showing here, is 90.634. The average one is 88 and 86. So purely the interest obtained, if we compare the two, there is a significant difference between the high and the low. Look at the average. The high, this second one is also the high and the average. Let's look at their difference. If you look at it, you will see that the difference that is obtained is not significant. Students with high mental ability, their interest is not significantly different from those with average. And if you also compare high, low, and average, it is not significant. What do we make out of this result? The result is telling us that the table that we first saw, which is the table of the ANOVA results, this significant 0.06, which tells us that the post-interest of different groups differ significantly. The resultant of these differences is actually the difference between the post-interest score of the high and the low. That's where it is. So average students with average level of average level of mental ability, the people with high mental ability interest is not, it may differ. Look at it here, there's a difference. Look at high 90, Look at average 88. But it's telling us that the difference between these two, which is less than 2.0, is not significant. So what that is telling us is that having a high mental ability is actually an advantage, as having a low mental ability is a disadvantage. But if you have high and average, you are still going to do well. But having low mental ability is actually a disadvantage in terms of the post interest. The interest, maybe in mathematics or whatever we want to study. Then this is the part I would love to dwell on most. When you are having analysis of uh, analysis of covariance, and you have interaction effects, and you want to interrogate your results, it is important to note that the um, the interaction effect supersedes the main effect. What does that tell? What's that telling us? It's telling us that when you have, you can see in this case, we have significant main effect, we have of the groups, we also have significant main effect of the moderator variable, which is mental ability. But you will now check here, we also have an interaction effect. The interaction effect, look at it, that means the interaction between the groups and the categories. You will notice that there is a significant interaction effect in purple. Look at it. This is the interaction effect that we have. So if you look at this very well, you will notice that it is also significant. Its partial eta square is 0.124. That means it's contributing to about 12.4% of the total variance. So we need to interrogate interaction effect very well, because it speaks to the very essence of our study. I think I will check here. Maybe I have a better picture of interaction effects here, so that you will see it in okay. I think this is this is better seen um, than it was. Yeah, look at this is the interaction effects. You see, I said it, when there is a significant interaction effect, your your contribution to knowledge, your thesis is even more in the interaction than it is in the. So look at it. This is telling us that in the control group, we have students with low mental ability, we have those with average, we have those with high. And in the control group, in that class, students with average mental ability, they had the highest interest. This is this 76.89. And in the next is the high, and the lowest is the low. Now look at strategy A. In strategy A, the students with the highest mental ability, in that class there are average students, there are low mental ability students. The one with the highest here is also 92.062, and the least is average. So it means that if we are using strategy A, the students with high mental ability will do well, in terms of will be the best in terms of their interest, while those with low will follow them closely. So you can see that it's a very interesting result. One would have expected that it will be this order of high, average, low. Look at here too. What we have average is the highest, high is followed, and the lowest is the low. Look at the final one here. This is the one that followed the normal order. Strategy B, we have high, high student with high mental ability. They are the one with um, they are the one with the highest post interest, followed by those